So today we are going to learn three methods of correcting our departures and latitudes if there is any error in a closed traverse survey. Okay. So before proceeding ahead, let us understand what are departures and latitudes, the basic definitions. So let us say that I have a line AB and the bearing of this line is, let us say, theta. So that can be a WCB, a whole circle bearing, or a quadrantal bearing. So that theta is the bearing of that line AB, L is the length of AB. So what we can do is that we can take the components, or we can resolve this line AB into two parts or into two components basically. So this component, the vertical component, would be L cos theta. The horizontal component of this AB line would be L sin theta, right? So departures and latitudes are nothing but the names given to each of these component. This vertical component is called as latitude, or it is called as northing or southing. Northing or southing is because this line AB, its vertical component can either be aligned towards north, or its vertical component can be aligned towards south. Same is for this horizontal one. L sin theta is called as departure or easting or westing. In this case, the departure is towards east, but in some other cases it could be towards west as well. Okay, this is a basic definition of departures and latitudes. So similarly, like how this one line is having a departure and latitude, a closed traverse survey. So this is a closed traverse survey. A closed traverse means that the point where you start, after your entire survey you come back to the same point. So that is a closed traverse, right? So each of the line in this closed traverse would have its own departure and its own latitude. Okay, if I consider the starting point of that line to be the origin means this point, and from that I have my north, south, east and west direction lines. So for every line I can plot its departure and latitude. So let us say in this case line AB is having a length of L1. The quadrantal bearing is theta 1. So quadrantal bearing would be from north. If I am measuring this way, it would be theta 1. So it would be like north, theta 1, east. This would be the quadrantal bearing. Whole circle bearing would be alpha. So this is alpha. Okay. And in the calculations of latitude and departure, I would always suggest you to use whole circle bearing only. Okay. Always use whole circle bearing only. Because the reason is that the formula for latitude and departure remains the same if we are using whole circle bearing. So latitude is L1 cos alpha. Okay, I have used the whole circle bearing for in this formula. So if you have been given with quadrantal bearing, convert it to whole circle bearing. That's the thing what I am saying. Departure would be L1 sin alpha. Okay. So that is about line AB. For line BC, length is L2. So this is BC. Quadrantal bearing, let us say it is theta 2. So quadrantal bearing here would be, let's say this is a quadrantal bearing theta 2, and we would say that it is south, theta 2, west, right? We should convert it to whole circle bearing. That would be like 180 plus theta 2. That would be beta. So whole circle bearing is this beta. Latitude will be the formula, the structure of the formula will remain the same, that is L2 cos beta. Departure will be L1 sin beta. Okay, so the latitude is this would be the latitude, which is L2 cos beta, and this would be the departure, which is L2 sin beta. Okay. Moving to the next line, which is CD. CD is having, let's say, length of L3. Its quadrantal bearing, let's say it's theta 3. Let us say this is that one. North, theta 3, west. Whole circle bearing would be measured like this. This would be, let's say, gamma. The latitude would be L3 cos gamma, and departure will be L3 sine gamma. So the latitude for this CD will be this one. This is L3 cos gamma, and the departure will be this one. This is L3 sine gamma. And the last one, dA, would be, let's say the length is L4, quadrantal bearing is theta4, whole circle bearing delta. So latitude will be L4 cos delta and departure will be L4 sine delta, right? The summation of these lengths, let us say that is LP, okay? LP, basically P means the perimeter. So if you sum up all these lengths, it is going to give you the perimeter of this traverse, right? That is the reason I have given it a suffix of P. This, if you sum up all the latitudes, if we sum up, let us say that is summation L. If I sum up all the departures, let us say it is summation D, okay? For now, we will keep these values, summation L and summation D. Let us understand what happens in a closed traverse survey. So this is that traverse ABCD. For AB, what is the departure? This would be a departure and it is positive because it is towards the right side, okay? So it's like just like our normal Cartesian axis, that is this is positive, this is negative, upwards is positive, downwards is negative. So same rule it follows, that the departure, if it is in the east side, it is going to be positive, if it is in the west side, it is going to be negative. But since you are using whole circle bearing, as I told you, if you are using whole circle bearing, you don't have to bother about the signs, because the angle that you put, that will take care of the signs automatically. That is the advantage of using whole circle bearing in the formulas of latitudes and departures. Okay, so this positive DAB is the departure of AB. For BC, I have my departure, this would be negative because it is in this direction, right? So it's negative minus DBC. For CD, this would again be a negative departure minus DCD. For DA, again a negative departure, it is minus DA. The interesting thing to note here is that this plus DAB and all are negative. If we sum up all of them, it is going to give you 0, okay? So this positive, and then you come behind by this DBC, then you come behind by this DCD, and again you come behind. You eventually will get the summation of all these departures to be equal to 0, okay? For a closed traverse survey, since this is closed traverse. Coming to the latitudes, let us say the latitude of AB is positive LAB because it is going upwards, so it's plus LAB. Then for BC, the latitude will be negative since it is going downwards, minus LBC. Again, you don't have to bother about the signs because if you are using whole circle bearing, it will automatically take that sign. For CD, it is again going to be positive because from this point C, we are moving upwards to reach point D. From this D, again we have to move upwards, so that latitude is also going to be positive. Again, if I sum up all of them like this LAB, LDA, LCD and negative LBC, the summation of latitudes is again going to give me 0. So summation L is equal to 0. This is the condition for closed traverse survey, right? So what we understand is that for a closed traverse survey, my summation of latitudes and summation of departures should be equal to 0, okay? And you can consider that it almost never happens that this summation L and summation D are going to come 0 in real life cases. So in the lab, what you actually have to do is you have to basically go in the field, you have to take all the lengths of this AB, BC, CD, DA, all these lengths you take, then you take the whole circle bearings, okay? This is what you do in the field. then you come to your office or then you come to your lab, you do the calculations. So there you are doing these calculations of the latitude and departure, and there you will see that most of the times this summation L and summation D are not going to be equal to 0. So what should we do in that case? In that case, we need to find the closing error. So when you plot this, when you come to your office or when you come to your lab and you try to plot what data you have got from the field, you will notice that this is not closing. Okay, this point and this point should ideally close for a closed traverse survey, but you will find that it is not closing. So that is the error. How to fix that? So first let us understand what is the magnitude of this error, magnitude of the closing error. So this is what I need to find. So but how do I find this? Now if you remember, for a closed traverse survey I had told you that summation of latitudes and summation of departures, they should be equal to 0. But in this case definitely summation L will not be equal to 0 and summation D will not be equal to 0. So this is actually your summation of departures, and the vertical component of this closing error is your summation of latitudes. Okay, and the closing error is given as under root of summation L square plus summation D square, simply using the Pythagoras theorem. Now you are in your lab and you have already done the survey, so it does not make sense to go again and do a survey again, because for this error you are not going to put all the efforts again, right? So we need to manipulate this error and we need to somehow distribute this error equally, or we should say logically, in the whole traverse, such that at the end you get a balanced closed traverse. So that is what we are going to study, basically how to balance the traverse. Okay, we are going to distribute the error in the whole traverse, right? So first is the Bowditch method. For that, what is a Bowditch method? It will give you the correction that you need to do in the latitude, and it will in the departure, basically. So the correction in the latitude is L upon summation of LP into summation L. What is this L? L is the length of a particular segment of the traverse. Summation LP, if you remember, this is the total length, or basically this is the perimeter of the entire traverse, and summation L is the correction, it is the summation of your latitudes. Okay, this is the summation of the latitudes that we have found. So this is the total error that is coming in the latitude, right? For the departure also we have the similar kind of formula. Correction and departure is L upon summation LP into summation D. Okay, so what this Bowditch method says is that greater is the length of the of a particular segment, more is going to be the error that you have done in that segment. That is what basically the Bowditch method is saying. Okay, so what it is doing is it is distributing the errors on the basis of the length, of each of the segment of that traverse. So more is the length of the traverse, more error it will accumulate. That is what Bowditch method says. Let us actually solve a numerical and we'll see. So let us say that this is a closed traverse survey that has been done. These are the lengths, and we have the whole circle bearings at each of them, for each of the lines. What you can do is that you can find the latitude and departure. So departure would be like L into sine, if this is let's say if this is equal to theta, I'll name it as theta. So L sine theta is going to give you the departure, L cos theta is going to give you the latitudes, correct? Now if we sum all these departures, we should ideally get it equal to 0, but there is some error that we are getting, which is 0.22357. Same is that if we sum all the latitudes, ideally we should get it 0, but we are getting some error. It means that there is a closing error in this traverse. How to fix that? So we need to find the correction in latitude and correction in departure using the Bowditch method. So for applying this Bowditch method, we need the total perimeter length, that is 851.61, which is the summation of all the lengths. So the departure correction, we use this formula, that is 89.31 divided by 851.61 multiplied by the departure correction, which is 0.22357. You are going to get the departure correction to be 0.0234. Same way you will have to apply it to all the lengths, all the lines basically, and you will get all these departure corrections. Then for the latitude correction, again we need to apply this formula, which is 89.31, that is the length of AB, divided by total perimeter, which is 851.61, multiplied by this summation of latitudes, which is 0.50884. You will get the latitude correction to be 0.0534 for AB. Similarly, you have to do for BC, CD, DE and EA as well. After this, now we need to find the correct departure and correct latitude. So simply you just have to, for example, if I give these columns as numbers, then the departure correction will be 4 minus 6 and the latitude correction will be 5 minus 7. And in this 6 and 7, you should take whatever sign it is having, okay? Like if this departure, if anywhere it is having negative, you should take that sign. You should consider that sign. So basically that in that case it will become positive. And when you sum up all the departures now, you are going to get it as 0. And when you sum up all the latitudes, you are going to get it 0. So this is a balanced traverse now. And with these corrected departures and latitudes, you can plot your traverse again in the sheet and you are going to get it as a correct closed traverse. The second method is transit method. In this what we do is we again have latitude correction and we again have departure corrections. Latitude correction is L upon summation of LR. This is something new. L upon summation of LR multiplied by summation of L. So in this case, don't get confused this by length. Okay, in transit method we do not use length. We do not use length, but we use latitude. Okay, L stands for latitude. Summation LR stands for summation of latitudes without considering the sign. So for example, if I have a latitude of 20, then if I have latitude 25, minus 35, 40, minus 45. So the summation of these latitudes when you do for LR, these signs should not be considered. Everything should be positive. Okay, that would be your LR. And also one thing very important is that this latitude when you're taking, again the sign of this latitude should not be considered. So it is an absolute value, absolute latitude. Okay, multiplied by this summation L, which is the total error in latitude. Same is for same kind of formula for the departure correction as well. CD is that the correction and departure is D upon summation DR into summation D. This is your absolute departure. This is summation of departures neglecting the signs, and summation D is total error in departure. We shall solve a numerical, same numerical in fact what we solved previously. So this is the same data by which we had solved the Bowditch method. In that we had calculated the departures and latitudes and we have got these errors to be there. So for transit method we just now saw the formulas. It says that I also need this term, which is summation of latitudes without considering the sign, and summation of departures without considering the sign. So it means that when I take the summation of departure, I should not consider this sign. Okay. Same as when I take the summation of latitudes, I should not consider this sign. Okay. And then what I get is, this is the summation dr and this is summation lr. Okay. This would be d, this would be l. So the departure correction and latitude correction would be, as I told you, that this is absolute value, this is also absolute value, that is, you do not consider the sign. That is the reason that even if these are negative, we are going to get positive departure corrections only, and even if these are positive, these are negative, you are going to get a positive latitude correction only. Okay. So this corrected departure would be like, if I give numbers to these columns, so corrected departure will be 4 minus 6, and this would be 5 minus 7, corrected latitude. Okay. And then when we take the summation of these corrected departures, you will get 0, and summation of corrected latitudes, you are again going to get it as 0. So this is with the transit method. The third method is triangle of error method. Okay, so this triangle of error method, what it is, the basic logic of this method is that, see, in this traverse survey, you are ending up with this point A dash at the end. But in real practice, this A dash and A should have coincided. So you are getting some error E. Okay, that is the error. What it says is that as you start from this first point A and as you move to point B, you accumulate some error in that process, and that error we will put it at station B. That when you reach at station B, you have collected some error with you and you have reached that station B. From station B, when you move to the station C, you are again accumulating some errors, and here you have reached to station C with this error E2. From C to D, you again accumulate more errors, so E2 plus that error you will get at E3, and from E3, from D, when you reach here, you have again accumulated more error, E3 plus something, and that is resulting this total error of E. Okay, this is what triangle of error method means. Now this is a geometrical method basically. This is employed when you draw this plot in a sheet. So when you draw it in a big sheet, you are going to get some closing error, and this error you measure it with scale. Okay, see, this error we can also find it using calculator. Using calculator we have this formula, E is summation L square plus summation D square. But the idea of this method is that we do not deal with latitudes and departures. Okay, we are not at all dealing with latitudes and departures, and hence we are not going to calculate this E using calculator, but we are going to find it using a scale in the sheet. Okay, and then the idea of balancing the traverse using this method is that since this A dash has to coincide with A, see, you have started from point A, so now you have two options. Either you bring this A to A dash or you bring this A dash to A. But which one is logical out of them? Since you started with A, you should not move that point because that is the point that you had chosen, right? You should not move that point, but you should move this A dash towards A. That is the logical step, and that will basically close the error. But just by moving this one point to here will not actually balance your traverse. Then what you'll have to do is you will have to move all these points B, C and D in the direction of how A dash is moving towards A. So basically what you do is now you draw parallel lines to this closing error at every station, Okay, and whatever error, see I had told you E1, E2, E3, these errors will calculate. Whatever errors you are getting, you will have to shift this B with that same error along this line. Okay, and if this A dash is moving in this direction, this B, C and D all will move in that direction only. Fine. This is what the triangle of error method says. Now how to find this E1, E2 and E3? See, we draw a triangle. The base of this triangle is the total perimeter of the traverse. The height of the triangle is this error E. Okay, so what we can do is we can actually divide this triangle into A, B, C, D. This is the AB, length AB, this is BC, length BC. In its proportion only you will have to divide it. Okay, you have to choose a scale, an appropriate scale, then draw AB, BC, CD, and this last point would be DA dash. Okay, this would be E. This is E1, that is the error at station B. This is E2, error at station C. This is E3, error at station D, and error at station A dash is total closing error, E. So how to find this E1, E2 and E3? It is simple, by using the similarity of triangles. Since we would know this length, this would be the perimeter, we should know that, and we also know this, so we have this similarity of triangle, and we also know what is AB, what is BC, what is CD, etc. So at point B we are having the closing error E1, which is equal to E into AB divided by the perimeter. At point C we are having the closing error E2, which is equal to E into, now see, for this E2 we would have to use AB plus BC, right? So now even in this formula it is telling you that you are accumulating errors, and then finally you are going to get that error E2. At station D you are going to get E3, which is equal to E into AB plus BC plus CD divided by perimeter, and at point A dash it is E4 is equal to E into AB plus BC plus CD plus DA divided by the perimeter. This is basically, again, this is the entire perimeter divided by the perimeter, so E4 will be equal to E itself. Okay, and what you have to do for balancing is that you just have to move this B by E1 in this direction only. Okay, in the direction of the closing error. E2, you are at C, you have to move this point C, you will have to move this point D, and finally this A dash you will have to move by a value of E, which will finally close the traverse, and it would be a balanced traverse. Okay, so these are the three methods by which we can balance a traverse, and yeah, so that's it for this video lecture. Till then, take care. Thank you.